General quarters. All hands man your battle stations. Set material conditions Zebra throughout the ship. Make Z report to DC Central.
The alerts went out across the entire human fleet. At first, they weren't sure what was going on. All they did know is that they had received calls for assistance from sentient species, not just one or two, but all of them at once. As the fleet began to mobilize, more information came in. The emissary was actually called to explain what was going on, as it wasn't just the Sapiens. They couldn't get an answer, as the High Queen was screaming through her, screaming, "Help me! Help us! They're killing us! They're coming at us! They're consuming us! They're slaughtering us! Why?" She just kept screaming, claiming that they were being invaded. At first, many believed that this might be a trick, a ruse to separate the fleet, a way to divide the humans, which is the first step to conquering them. This delusion was tossed away as another sentients were screaming for help as well. The moment humanity got its pants on, they finally began to move. As reports came in, ships, battle groups, entire fleets headed into the fires that await. What is being reported is shocking as well. A species that looks like humans have arrived. These human-shaped invaders strike like lightning, hitting every sector at once, completely overwhelming with a fury that has only been seen by angry humans. The sentients and insectoids sent everything they can to evacuate as many as possible. They throw ships into the face of this new enemy, only to watch them be destroyed in waves of attacks. In the Harmony sector, either one out of necessity, desperation, coincidence, intention, or mistake, the sentients find themselves fighting this new enemy together with their sworn enemy, the insectoids. From two different angles, the new enemy, which are referred to as demons, sees their invasion halted for the very first time since they began. Through extremely high casualties, monstrous losses of equipment, and sheer force of will, the sentients and the insectoids are able to force a withdrawal of the invading forces. Quickly, they rush to collect the wounded and salvage the equipment, and of course, grab the remnants of this new species. One look at them, and every species thinks the same thing. Why are the humans attacking? It isn't until the Earthborn humans arrive that they will actually get an answer, but that will take months. Time some sectors may not have. Getting a full grasp of the situation, the humans did something no other species would have even expected. Humanity formally declared that liberated worlds will begin to take in all refugees from the front lines. This courtesy was shared not only with the sentient species, but with the insectoids as well. At first, only the sentient species took advantage of this. Those that did were not expecting much beyond some simple temporary shelters or half-destroyed buildings to sleep in. Some meager rations that would never satiate the hunger of so many. They expected a fight for whatever clean water was even on this planet, and didn't expect medical and hygiene to be even there, believed it to be non-existent. They all prepped themselves to be treated like cattle or worse, most of the females, giving themselves the shakes, fearing what humans might do, as the humans might abuse them. As the transports began to descend on human-controlled planets below, they all held on to their loved ones tight, fearing what awaited them. What truly awaited them would be so shocking that some would collapse and others would actually lose control of their bodily functions and soil themselves. Upon opening of the bay doors, the first thing they see are some of their own. This was shocking for sure, as the refugees are motioned and walked out into a holding area where they find areas with plentiful foodstuffs. A very welcome sight for those that haven't consumed anything in days or in some cases weeks. An area off to the side marked with that same symbol they know by the red vertical and horizontal lines symbolizing medical aid. Aid that was not only fast, but also very effective. Entire teams of technicians, medics, doctors, and supply runners kept everything moving at a very quick pace to treat everyone who came in. Those, even missing limbs and digits, were taken to the regeneration pods. This was a technology that had been closely guarded as a secret that humanity now shared with them. Obviously, for the pods and any type of medical, it was children first, then females, elderly, and then the men. This order would change, of course, based on the condition of someone who might find themselves in mortal danger, but normally, no one actually had to wait at all. There seemed to be an open pod at any time, as they were not only set up in rows upon rows, but stacked 4 high on platform. When those that used the pods came out, they felt really, really good, but incredibly hungry. They found out that this was due because the pod is only tricking the body into regenerating itself, or simply forcing regeneration to happen much, much faster. Once everyone is treated and fed, of course, they are shown to temporary housing, and after some rest, they're given actual assigned billets based on their family size and family needs. To those that had lost their family members, their belongings, their homes, their entire fracking planet, it seems as though they had just died or something, and they had found paradise beyond. While the refugees settled in, got a bit comfortable, and then realized they had to begin looking for work, the humans' naval forces were finally arriving at the front lines. What they found made even the centuries-old commanders shiver at it. In almost every sector of the front, this new enemy had torn planets apart. Massive machines seemed to have wrapped around the world, stripping them down to their core. This left many planets looking like nothing more than a walnut, a piece of rock, a shell of itself inside space. This hit even harder as everyone realized that these were thriving planets. A few of these planets weren't just stripped, as this seemingly nut in space had been sucked dry of their molten core. The remains of the fleets still remained as a silent burial ground drifting through the void. Every human that looked on this knew that this enemy would suck all these men up soon enough, along with the remains of their ships. It seems as though they were after resources. The only thing that seemed untouched was the star itself. Though speculated about why, no one actually had an answer. Besides, they didn't have much time to worry about it. The new enemy had only been halted in one sector, and all the rest needed support. Time now. Entering a contested sector, the battle group of humanity could see the ships that were designed very, very similar to theirs. If not for the whole curved space frame, the ships would be very difficult to tell apart, with the exception of it seemed like it was a darker type of metal used by the enemy. The first thing that was sent was a message to this new opponent. We are humanity, and you have just attacked our ally. Power down all weapons and cease hostilities immediately. If you continue to advance, we will have no choice but to engage your ships. Now power down, and we can open a dialogue. The response was in a language completely unknown, but the voice that came through seemed almost human enough. The translation took a few moments, but it came through as, "We are the Firmian. You do not dictate to us. There will be no dialogue, no peace, no anything except your total and complete surrender. You will power down. You will prepare to be examined to see if you are worthy. as the true rulers of the universe, dictated to us by our great creator. We will never be insulted by such creatures such as you. Now, power down and prepare to bow down to our greatness." The first commander to hear this speech was quoted by saying, "Great, a cartoon villain." The first battle between the humans and the Firmians commenced. The humans were the first to fire, attacking at maximum effective range with their fixed energy weapons. Firing wave after wave at the new enemy almost seemed cruel, at least until you see the brutality that they had laid against the other sentient and insectoids' fleets. What surprised everybody is the Firmian fleet didn't even try to evade the shots. They must have believed that no species could possibly damage their ship with such a display. That is, until multiple vessels, to include the capital ship of this fleet, went dark and or completely exploded. Seeing this, the Firmians charged forward as fast as they could. As they fired their own weapons, the human ships all began evasive maneuvers. The damage to the human ships at that point was negligible, as they ducked, dipped, dived, and dodged, and most of the enemy fire just went straight past them, striking nothing. The sentient and bugs that witnessed this had a chill go up their respective spines, as the frightening power of the humans was now becoming on full display, and they were very grateful that they were not on the receiving end of this ass-whooping. Some of the Firmian ships were able to get moving again after direct hits, but most were completely dead in the water. Those that drove forward towards the human fleet had no idea what was heading next. Human turrets, though less powerful than the fixed weapons, but much more accurate, began to fire their own energy beams. Each fired 3 in succession. These, in addition to the fixed weapon systems, left the Firmians playing dodge the beam, only to find themselves being penetrated from stem to stern, or getting cut to pieces as the beams swiped them. Realizing that they are in deeper trouble than they realized, the remainder of the Firmians simply ran for it. Human ships did not let them. The energy beams did not stop until every single enemy ship was either cut to pieces or completely dark. No power at all. This dance played out in all sectors across the front, all but one. In the Harmony sector, sentient and insectoid fleets tried desperately to save the comrades that were still floating in the hulks that were cut apart by the previous battle. When the humans of the 14th Battle Group arrived, the helmsman of the command ship called Shoot the Thrill said, "Wow, they look like shit." Where the XO replied, "Sure do, but at least they're still alive. Now scramble all recovered craft. They might have fought off the Firmians, but trust me, they'll be back." In the midst of all this, a sector that was on the front lines but had not been attacked yet freaked out when a full human battle group arrived with all their weapons, looking out trying to find something to shoot. Realizing this, and having limited knowledge of what was happening around the universe, the planetary government immediately made a call to their own species' high command, saying, "Please call off those humans and tell them to aim at our enemy." Hello everybody, this is Syntax. Thank you for joining me today on part 6 of this ongoing series. I hope you like it. Now before I go, I need to say that today's winner is Chris Dixon. And I also need to send out some big thank yous to the supporters of this channel. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this. And those would be Sir, Prozac and Pancakes, SS Demon, Brian Kemp, MTF Guard, Erica Gem, Joseph Bosch, Guardian Sage, and Julius Boone. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Everybody else, I'll see you on the next one. This is Syntax.
Ejecting pilot.